Out on the farm, headed out to check on the animals.
It's been raining all day, so it's muddy.
There is Sadie, who is part of the security team here.
Don't forget Dozer.
And little Dozer.
Hey, take the squeaker out of that thing. Watch the food.
And the pigs. We have 3 Kunekunes.
Kunekunes. 2 females and a male. Those are the 2 females. And that is Sybil, the yellow one, yellow and black, and that's Myrtle. They love grass, but they got the electric wire right there too, so they kind of, every once in a while they'll pop themselves.
Where's Erp?
Erp is probably all laid up.
Erp is chilling.
They look like dirty animals, but they're very, very clean. But most of y'all probably know they don't sweat, so they have to have mud to stay cool, and that's their mud trough right there. They like to waller around in that to stay cool.
Now the difference between Kunekunes and most other pigs is they're grazers. They don't
root like a blue bud or some of the other ones. We had a blue bud that we processed, but in the time we had him, he rooted up the garden for us. Within a day, the whole garden was rooted up. These like to graze. They love grass. They're not a big pig. They get to about 250, 300 pounds versus if you let a big blue butt grow a sow, they'll get up to 500, 600 pounds. But they're very, very docile. They like to have their bellies rubbed, and they'll eat out of my hand. And now Erp, he doesn't like to be touched. He'll just squeal right yourself. But Sybil, he likes to be petted.
Maisie would love to get in with them, but she's not allowed to.
Her jowls are getting big, so she's about full grown now. They were born in June, and Erp was born in July, so they're pushing 10, 11 months old now. And that's Erp. And watch what happens when I try to touch him. He don't like it. He don't like it. It's okay. It's okay, Erp. Their hide is really rough. They're real coarse. But we feed them a mixture of all stock feed and crumble, which are chop. It's what comes out of the corn processor when they're processing corn. It's like chopped up corn and the husks and all that too. But they love that, and it fattens them up too. Gives them, and then we bring out, like old lettuce, and they love bananas that didn't. Her belly's dragging the ground. She's definitely pregnant now. And I know Myrtle is too. And they'll have anywhere from 6 to 12 babies. But that's all they do all day. They drink and eat and sleep. And that's it. They love seeing me come out. I've already fed them today, but when they see me, them, and the goats, they go crazy and run to their feeders, knowing they're fixing to get fed. So, well, that's the pigs. That's our guineas, the tick eaters, and they are so loud it's crazy. I think we started out with 5. We got 2 left. The other ones disappeared.
Oh, we got a rooster.
Now, he's pretty young, but he's just now learning how to crow. He's a beautiful rooster. And then
these are the twins.
Dixie and Dakota. Dakota's the one with the horns. And then
Dakota was weathered early on because, and so we didn't burn his horns off. We just let him have them. We're not going to breed him. He was the first goat we had born on the property, so we He's ours, and he'll live his life right here.
He's fixed, so he can't do anything besides look pretty. But he's loud.
And chickens like to roost, and they love my compost pile.
That's all those that Missy hatched all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the chickens here, Missy hatched them.
Yeah.
And they, we get anywhere between 8 and a dozen eggs a day. Sometimes on a good day, we'll get 13 or 14. And we give them away. We eat a few, but we can't keep up with them.
Yeah,
If you're homesteading like we are, I mean, we just started this about a year ago, and decided we'd, you know, Missy had always gardened and all, but as far as getting animals, she had a few chickens, and then we've gotten a few more since then. And we decided to get goats first. We got the goats, the two mama goats, and then we bought the pigs. And after doing some research, we decided to get the Kunes. They are a slow grower. They're meat. Now the pigs we have here, the 2 females and the male, they're breeders only. We'll never process them. I say never, but that's not the plan. They'll have babies, but they're about about 8 months to 9 months before you can process one of these, versus a blue bud or Duroc, or those that they grow quick and you can process it 5 or 6 months. So, you know, this is going to be, you know, with the way prices are at the grocery store and the supply chain problems and all that too, our whole goal is to have our own food, whether it be the garden or the pigs, the goats. Of course, that's for milk purposes only. Of course, the chickens, we've already processed a batch of 25 chickens. We ordered the babies, and they're called Cornish cross, and they process it 7 to 8 weeks after birth with no hormones or just natural growth. They go into a chicken tractor, which is that little booger over there. It's a hoop design, and you put them in there, and then you move it around every few days so they stay on grass, so they're free ranged. And then we processed them ourselves, and they're in the freezer, and best tasting chicken ever. But back to the Kunes, the meat is very red, pink, delicious meat. It's supposed to be the best tasting pig that you can get. You can't get it in the grocery store. So for the length of time it takes for them to get to processing size, what I've been told, is worth the wait. So that's, now feeding them, like I said, it's a 12% all stock feed that I buy, and then I mix it with a chop, and the chop is what comes out of the grind, the corn grind. It's corn crumble and the husk and all that too, and I mix that in with their feed. And what's good about that is the goats eat the same thing. They eat the 12%. Now the chickens have to have a lay-in pellet, which is 20%. It's a 20% pellet, and I have to keep that separated because the goats love it, and it'll give the goats diarrhea, so you don't want the goats getting around it. So that goes in their coop, but the goats get the same feed as the pigs, and I usually make 1 trip a week for feed, and it's all tax deductible too, so, which is nice. A lot of this is tax deductible, so that's another good thing about homesteading as well. So, but we have the garden, and Missy does all the canning and all that too, and puts all that up. And we do have chickens in the freezer now. We have pork from the blue butt that we processed. Now, funny story about that one. He was about a month away, 3 weeks away from processing. You want the weight to be about 250 pounds when you process. He was about 180 pounds. You can see on this deal here, there's some Christmas lights. Well, these pigs are too short to reach up there. Well, the blue butt was about that tall, and he was about 180 pounds at Christmas time. Put the lights up there, and we thought it was kind of pretty and all that too. Well, it rained one day, and I fed the pigs, and we named him Pig because he was destined for the freezer anyway. And I walked out on the porch and looked out, and Pig was laying on the ground. He didn't respond to me at all, which was very unusual because he'd go crazy when he saw me because he knew he was fixing to get some food. Went out there, and Pig was dead. He had reached up and bit into the wire. So pouring down rain, we had to process Pig. So we did what you have to do and took him out to a friend's and hung him for a week, and then I went out and learned how to cut him up, and so we've got all the pork cuts in the freezer right now. So we have vegetables, we have pig, we have chickens, and one of these days we'll have beef. So we don't have enough property right now, but we could probably grow a couple. Then we have our milk from the goats, which, like I said before, the milk from these Nigerian, these pygmies and dwarfs, 8% butter fat, which is double the fat of whole milk from a cow. It's absolutely delicious. Makes really good cheese. The butter, you have to buy a processor, or not a processor, a separator to separate the cream. Unlike a cow, it separates itself to make butter. So we haven't had butter, but as far as the milk and the cheese go, it's fantastic. Mozzarella cheese, goat, of course, goat cheese, and so.
Alrighty.
Hmm?
So if you have any questions or concerns about this, please leave comments down below. We'll be happy to address them concerning the pigs.
The pigs.
We will do more videos on goats and chickens as we go.
And again, our camping, this suits us. The farm is my aching back.
But it's all on
my aching back. So, and it does ache sometimes when I get out there and put these fences up and all that too. It doesn't take much, but anyway, so see you later.